Well, I got a couple of other things that I should be doing videos about, but there was something that came up yesterday that I thought, well, this is kind of timely, so I better talk about this first. The other can wait. But Harris went over to Europe, in Germany there, and she's yammering on about unity. Unity this, unity that, Well, there really isn't a lot of unity going on there. We're pushing this, and the UK is pushing this, but there's a lot of people that really don't want to get involved in this. And one that really stands out, because you never hear it mentioned, is Turkey. Now, Turkey is right there. They're they're involved in this, sort of. But there's a problem. They're in NATO. They've been in NATO since the 50s. But they don't trust us. So we're kind of leaving them out of this deal. But they don't trust us for good reason, because we really tried to get a military coup going there. Tried to overthrow Erdogan. So they know better than to trust us. So we're kind of ignoring them, pretending like they aren't a matter here, though they really control the whole ingress and egress to the Black Sea. They're right in the middle of everything, honestly. But Turkey gets along with Russia very well. We got pissed because after we tried to pull a little coup there, he went and bought those S-400 missiles from Russia. And we have bases in Turkey. We have like 2,000 troops there. We've got nukes in Turkey. Turkey's really not particularly pleased to have us there. The majority of the people would like us to just be gone, because we're, by having our nukes there, really making them a target. We love to do that, put other people in harm's way. And like I say, Turkey gets along fine with Russia. So they'd really like to stay out of this. So they don't even get mentioned in these talks. Turkey is out of it. So when you're talking unity, you got to look pretty close at who's involved in this. Like Germany, they're playing along with this deal, but Germany knows darn well if things go bad, they count on the gas from Russia. So we're putting them in a hell of a spot. And we're saying, oh, we'll supply. Well, we won't supply. That isn't going to happen. So they're going to suffer if things go bad. And like Putin knows this. That's why they haven't, like they always say, oh, he's going to use gas as a political leverage. He doesn't. They buy contracts. They fulfill their contracts, regardless of all this bad mouthing and all this carrying on. They do what they said they're going to do, which is what Russia does. It does what it says it's going to do. We don't live up to our agreements, but they do. Like even with this whole that NATO wasn't supposed to move further east, we tend to deny that was ever agreed. But Germany finds it in the notes. The UK even found it in the notes where, yeah, we agreed we wouldn't move further east. But that doesn't matter. Go ahead and start pushing. But that's going to bite them. But now, of course, Ukraine is talking, oh, they want nukes. Well, a very unstable country. We went, overthrew the government, put in that damn Zelensky. He's got very little to say. It's the military that's running things, really. And the military is pretty flaky there. They've they do their own thing, kind of. Like even now, part of those Minsk agreements, which we weren't involved in, and that's what pisses us off. The countries that actually had a stake in this made these agreements without our input. So we want nothing to do with that. But the agreement part of it was, that there was supposed to be a ceasefire there. Well, okay, the actual Ukrainian army isn't attacking these breakaway provinces. It's really these kind of militias that are kind of military, but kind of not. In fact, they're worried all the time the military is going to arrest them because they're doing stuff they're not supposed to be doing. It's supposed to be a ceasefire, but they don't abide by that because they really aren't in the military. They're kind of rogue. They're doing their own thing, but that's the whole neo-Nazi bunch again. So now Russia evacuated all the people in that area, and they're going to have to go in there and clean that mess out. Well, that's going to get us excited, and the Ukrainian military excited. But my thought on this, I would like to see, this would be a good opportunity for Turkey to get involved. Like the Russians actually said, okay, they had that thing where we tried to pull something in Kazakhstan, and they had to put their rapid response force, which is composed of countries that used to be part of the Soviet Union. They put them in there, cleaned it up, and got back out. Despite what Blinken was saying that, they were there for good. They do their job, then they pull back out. It's a whole separate thing from the Russian military. It's made up of other countries, too. But they said, well, we'll go in there. If you agree to this, we'll go in there and straighten this out, get rid of these militias, and calm things down. Well, we'll never go for that because in our mind, of course, that's Russian. But it isn't. It's the former Soviet countries. But my thought is this would be a good time. Turkey is really kind of neutral in this thing. Now, Russia isn't going to let UN in because if you let UN in, the UN is really us. We run things, even if it isn't okayed by the UN. We tend to want to do things regardless. We get the coalition of the willing thing going. But I think you could actually get the Turks to go in there and make some sense of that situation. And they've got a stake in this. But like I say, right now we are kind of on the outs with Turkey because they ain't towing the line. And like I say, really the majority of the people like to get us out of Turkey. Of the Turkish citizens, they don't like this, and for good reason. But I think you could get the Turks to go in there and kind of evaluate the situation with kind of an open mind and get some of that settled down instead of talking, like Ukraine now, they want nukes. A terribly unstable country, terribly corrupted, they want nukes. And we want to give them anything they want. But I think that would be, before that Zelensky gets too excited about this kind of stuff, I think he should have a little conflict with Erdogan. I think he might learn something there. I think his attitude toward NATO might change a little bit. But unity, no. There is no unity. She's just flapping her gums for no reason. The countries that are really pushing this are the countries that really won't be affected. But the countries right in that area that will be affected, they're the ones who should have some say in it, like they did with those Minsk agreements. That was up to them, but we can't stand that. If somebody else can make peace with us interfering in some way. But we got to keep poking around there. But I just thought I'd mention Turkey. Keep your eye on Turkey. Turkey is looking out for Turkey. They don't want to be a puppet of the U.S. They don't want to be a puppet of Russia. They want to be their own country. They don't want to get involved in these fights. But I think they're neutral enough that their viewpoint on this is worth listening to. I think.